So Mitch McConnell and his pals, Schumer and Pelosi and Obama and the Bushes and Big Dick Cheney. That's why they call him Dick Cheney, by the way. He was born with a big dick, apparently. All these servants of the uber wealthy have cooked up this thing called the Great Reset. Oh boy, it's a reset, all right. They're going to screw you blue again. You see, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the guy that blew the whistle on the SNL scandal in the 80s and exposed all their real estate schemes and scams and toxic zombie developments. And then, of course, you have the big predatory foreclosures, the subprime predatory money laundering, the money laundering associated with all those easier than pie mortgages where, no documentation. Hell, you didn't even have to have a job, apparently. No docs. No docs lending. That's how you launder money. You change it from dirty money into mortgaged real estate, then you foreclose on it in a predatory fashion and you churn it. But that's for the editors over at the Atlantic and the New York State Attorney General and the State of New York's investigations into why Deutsche Bank was laundering money through Donald Trump's real estate empire with all of Donald Trump's pals like Epstein and company. Epstein and Clintons and all the other visitors to the pedo island. But let's get back to who invented the Great Reset and what the hell is the Great Reset? Is that like this 5,000-page stimulus package where they send 2/3 of the money overseas and give the people of the United States a paltry 600 helicopter dollars? The paper and ink quantitative easing, you get 600 of them. They're not going to give you 2,000 because they just can't afford the extra, ink to print on those checks. Yeah, they can't afford the extra ink on the checks, right, Mitch McConnell? Because the rich won't be able to squeeze the blood out of you. They want to keep you poor and trapped in your slavery. They want to keep you as serfs, so they're not going to give you any relief. And then they're going to shove the Great Reset down your throat as they're dumping sewage all over the world, making huge numbers of people sick and causing huge numbers of people to die, making large amounts of money for the funeral industry, the cemeteries, the casket makers, huge amounts of money for the hospitals and all the stockholders that invest in these healthcare systems and death care, the death care machine, They're getting filthy rich from it all over the world. And then, oh golly, the vaccine industry and all the new variants. They're never going to run out of variants, They're going to have variants from now until hell freezes over and control all the serfs in the world with their Great Reset. Welcome to hell, ladies and gentlemen. They've created this computerized ant farm, and you're the ants. I've been trying to tell you for a long time, man. Y'all need to wake the fuck up. The Great Reset. Who designed that shit, Nancy Pelosi? Come on, Donald Trump. Rather than acting like a boob over this election, why don't you explain to everybody the Great Reset there, Donald Trump? Big old mafia don. And Mitch McConnell and, wow, I'll tell you what. Ted Cruz and all these other, high and mighties, John Cornyn, Greg Abbott, that governor of California, whatever that goofball's name is there. Oh, they got the second case of the new variant COVID in California. They're going to be locking that whole state down. They're going to be under quarantine. You're going to be imprisoned in California's healthcare system. Oh boy, that sounds like a computerized ant farm with reset rules. What the flying fuck is the reset anyway? Or the reset? Excuse me. What the hell is the reset? What are they planning to put up everybody's butt and inject in your veins? Yeah, and what role is Fauci playing in it? That's what I want to know. What role is Fauci and what role is Melania Trump playing in this great reset scam? Laura Bush, come on, Laura Bush, explain it to everybody, and get a hold of Dick Cheney's daughter there to explain it to everybody. And John, what was his name down there in Arizona? I can't remember John's name. I'm sorry. The one that, got thrown in prison in Vietnam for bombing North Vietnam there. John something. The senator from Arizona. Get his daughter. Maybe his daughter can explain the Great Reset to y'all. The Great Reset and the never-ending variants of certain deaths from their virus machines. Which brings me to this point. I'm in two federal courts. And I'm suing the government over dumping and slopping their sewage all over the American landscape. Yeah, like the Terry Sanford Federal Courthouse slops its sewage all over Raleigh. The Terry Sanford Federal Courthouse is the epicenter of this battle, with Judge Terrence Boyle and then Judge Myers down in Wilmington, where the Cape Fear River is nothing but an open sewer, spreading certain death and all the viruses and the Legionnaires and SARS and, all the other diseases and maladies that go along with dumping massive amounts of sewage right into the environment with the government's combined sewage overflows. Happy New Year. Today's New Year's Day, 2021. And the American government and states and counties and villages and towns all across the United States are dumping massive amounts of sewage into your waterways, into the public's waterways. They're using them as open sewers, and they're full of all kinds of deadly infectious diseases. That's where the bats and the rats and the snakes and the possums and the coons and the dogs and the cats, all the feral cats, all these stray dogs, where do you think they get their water from? With the bears and the deer and the fish and the porpoises, the dolphins and the whales and the manatees. Where do you think the manatees get their water? From where they're dumping all the sewage in Florida. Lake Okeechobee, does that ring any bells? Ladies and gentlemen, who came up with this concept of the Great Reset, and who's shoving it down your throat? And let me ask you something. Are the rich going to get richer and the poor get poorer? Are the rich going to remain at the top of the pyramid scheme and the poor working class dummies, y'all going to get the bill? You know damn well under the Great Reset, the serfs are going to get stiffed even more. Because, Mitch McConnell, he doesn't even have the paper and ink to write a couple of decent checks to bail out the American people. No, hell no. They got to send it overseas to foreign countries and bail out the banks on a never-ending basis. Bail out the corporations on a never-ending basis. Is that the new reset? Where the American people get more and more and more blood squeezed out of them, like in Pharaoh's Egypt? Wow. Judge Terrence W. Boyle. What a fantastical story, huh, Judge Boyle? And Judge Myers, how much shit and piss is in the Cape Fear River? Well, let me rephrase. How much shit and piss is in the Cape Fear River Basin, Judge Myers? And who's dumping it there, Judge Myers? Would that be the United States military and the United States government, the GSA, the state of North Carolina and its towns and villages with their combined sewage overflows, Judge Myers? Is that who is poisoning North Carolina's environment? Governor Roy Cooper? Come on, Andy Cuomo, chime in here, buddy. Tell them all about all the sewage being dumped all over New Rochelle, New York, and Albany, and Manhattan, and all the sewage, the piss, and the shit in the St. Lawrence Seaway. I mean, Canada, that Justin Trudeau, come on, Justin Trudeau. Why are you dumping so much sewage in the St. Lawrence River, Justin Trudeau? And who the hell do you work for, Justin Trudeau? The orchestrators of the Great Reset, right? The British Empire. And why is the Thames River there in London so massively contaminated with sewage? Justin Trudeau, why don't you get a hold of the Queen of England and Prince Charles and ask them, and Prince Harry. Come on, Prince Harry, explain it to everybody. Vladimir Putin, you want to chime in here with Duck Shit Ping there from Beijing, China, and explain why China's got such a massive sewage problem? Now, this final comment's for Aaron Brockovich. Come on, Aaron Brockovich, why don't you explain to everybody in the world why the government's dumping so much virus-laden, bacteria-laden certain death into all of America's waterways? From the Rio Grande to San Francisco Bay to the Seattle-Tacoma harbors there. I forget what they call Puget Sound. There we go. The Puget Sound is full of sewage. The Hudson River, the Penobscot River, the Connecticut River, the Anacostia River, the Potomac River, the Chesapeake Bay, the Cape Fear River Basin. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Tampa Bay. Norfolk Harbor. Oh, God, Norfolk Harbor. Go on down there and make you some lemonade out of that crap in the freaking estuaries outside of Washington, D.C. Baltimore, Annapolis, Camden, Maryland. I guess it's Camden. St. Michael's, Tigman Island. Yeah. There you go, folks. So who's orchestrating this Great Reset again while they're shoving all these viruses down your throat and killing millions and millions and millions of people all over the world? I think Donald Trump needs to be put on the hot seat with Mike Pence and John Roberts, the Chief Justice of the whole United States Supreme Court, needs to be put on the hot seat. Maybe they remember that case, Vermont versus New York State, when they were poisoning, and they still are poisoning, Lake Champlain with huge amounts of viruses and bacteria. How about that, U.S. Supreme Court? What the hell's going on, John Roberts? So, folks, I think that covers a lot of bases. All the information and the links are located below. And ask yourself one question. Why is it that the Great Reset's coming on the heels of the implementation of the Guidestone directives, where they wipe out 8 billion people? They murder 8 billion people to eradicate the earth from all the poopers and the pissers. The useless eaters. Ask Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger will tell you about the useless eaters, the worthless pissers, and the serfs, the paupers that poop. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave it right there. And as always, hasta la vista. God bless. And you can bet you we're coming back.